Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. In today's video, thanks to the guys over at Robot Kingdom, we're taking a look at the latest offering from Planet X. This is their CHARON, aka their Nemesis Prime. Let's take a quick look around the box. We have Prime's chest on the front there, we have his side panel, and we have his back, pretty much what we would expect from a Planet X box. And here we have him out of his foam prison. Take a look at the accessories first. First off, we get his own little dark matrix. Nice translucent red there being used. Yeah, it's a nice little touch. Don't really need a matrix for him, but there we go, he's got his own. He has his own Energon axe. Love all of the tech detail along the sides here. It very much reminds me of that Cobalt. Has the Cobalt axe, the company that made the axe? I think it was, but it's nice to have a big chunky weapon like this. He has his sword. Again, very nice sword. You know, I still haven't played on for the Cybertron for ages. We got it in the sale for the Xbox One recently, and I haven't had a chance to play it. My son has claimed my Xbox. And of course we get his rifle with this really nice kind of teal being used on there as well. Very, very nice looking weapon. And here we have him all armored up, dressed to kill. He is a very good looking figure. I do love how these guys look. Planet X done an exceptional job. I don't think there's a figure I don't like that Planet X have done. I think I've pretty much liked most of their figures. They're not without their flaws, like my Megatron I had, albeit it was a test shot, was a little bit floppy. Some of the Dinobots, I didn't like some of their design choices, but all in all, they've never failed to deliver a very good looking, very playable figure. I know these are aimed at like ages 10 plus, but they're all fun toys. I have no issues or quarrels at all about my sons playing around with these because they're not going to break. Is there somewhere I can store my sword other than just popping it into the side of his gun? I'm sure there is, but yes, Prime, or Nemesis Prime, or Charon, or Steve, whatever you want to call him, he looks fabulous. Now I know it's only a paint change, but armoring him up and just having them in slightly different poses really does make all the difference, and it does separate them as two very different characters, in my opinion. And why not bring in Psykill for a little piece of the action? Now, if this is your first time seeing the full Cybertron Prime mould, he stands just over 7 inches tall. That's around 18 to 19 centimeters, and with weapons in hand weighs a more than adequate 316 grams. That's 11.14 ounces. Now, I know the Nemesis Prime repaints aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I actually prefer this to their Prime. I think it's just something about that coloration, the nice kind of silver charcoaly color on those thighs, and the combination of the kind of smoked black as opposed to a very deep black, along with that teal. I just think it really brings out some of that detailing on Prime. I love how he looks, and I loved how he looked in the game, and I think Planet X have really managed to capture that appearance with both the Nemesis Prime and the ordinary Prime. I'm sure there are better ways of storing those weapons as well, but I'm just giving you an idea of how and what is involved with this figure. He's very poseable. I will cover the articulation very shortly, but he just looks fantastic, striking a pose, and yeah, I think I prefer him to Prime. Let's take a look at that very evil looking head sculpt. I love those really deep piercing eyes with that black outline. Now the head is ball mounted, so we can go up and down, left and right, and we can tilt side to side. Now, although the eyes do look painted, they are in fact light piped. It's just really difficult to get that light to shine through there, but when it does, they do become quite piercing. It just completely caught me off guard. I thought they were painted up in this kind of pearlescent red, but in fact that is all a light piped section. You just have to catch the right angle and have that light coming directly from behind. The details are really being popped on this with the added paint application. I think it makes the world of difference. Now the shoulders can go all the way around. There is some hindrance with this back section here. They can come out to the side. It's a fairly odd hinge. Not a great fan of it. It reminds me of the Hasbro Fall of Cybertron Grimlock hinge, but it works and it does what they need it to do. There is an upper bicep rotation. We have a nice bend at the elbow. As you can see, I have the hand folded in because the rifle that we get that comes with it is designed just to go and clip over the top of the said hand. Hand articulation is fairly minimal. It is basically a rotation at that wrist and the fingers are pinned. Now the waist can rotate quite nicely. You can pop the waist off and then use that abdominal crunch. Now it is designed for the transformation, but it can be used nonetheless. The legs, again, with this nice paint applications, make the details on those legs pop. The legs can come this far forwards on a friction joint, this far backwards on a friction joint, out to the side. Some hindrance there from that skirt, and we have a nice deep bend on that knee. We have articulation on the knee pads, so the knee can come up and down and shift forwards and backwards. And we have some left and right pivoting on those feet, and they can move up and down, albeit very stiff. Now I do have problems with these shin guards. They do tend to pop off and they kind of have a mind of their own, but other than that, I mean, he's pretty tight and solid, and yes, does exactly what it says on the tin. He has this opening in the chest that we can just pop out. These are incredibly stiff the first couple of times you do them. We've got a nice detailing in that chest there, and we can bring the matrix in, push that inside, and there we go. He is now sporting the dark matrix. Let's just push that back in and tab that in firmly. Right, now let's get him transformed up into vehicle mode. Let's start with the legs. Unplug these tabs, which like to come unplugged anyway, like so. You want to lift it up, you want to rotate it 180 degrees, push the thruster through from behind and push that out. This foot can then come in backwards. The foot comes down and lays on the back there. This then comes back up, and there's a slot here and two tabs. This comes in and slots into the back and just pushes and tabs in. If you're a silly person like me, you may have had your knee pad left up from getting him out of the box. I forgot to transform it up. So let's just move that knee out of that locking joint, lift that up like so, and just drop the knee inside there, which shortens off that leg, and then we can just pull this piece across, closing that section off, and then bring the wheel tab up and lock that into place. You want to push these legs and tab those in together. You want to flip and fold the hands back inside the arms and just tab both of those off. And we're now going to go around to the waist, where we're going to detach it from the torso, give it a little tag like that, and you want to rotate that 180 degrees. And we're going to unmount this backpack section. We have it tabbed in at several places. The first part to untab are these shoulder pads. They're tabbed into the thrusters. Just going to go and pull those out like so. That can then come down. These wheel sections here are tabbed into the back of those arms. Just give that a little tug as well, and they untab from this socket here. There we go, that's everything untabbed. This piece here comes out of the way. The head rotates around 90 degrees, which allows us to get through these shoulder pad sections. And then we can rotate it back again and slide it into that chest cavity, and then bring this back up. And there's a tab just on there that's going to come up and just slide and tab in on top. This shoulder tab moves forwards. This arm then comes up. You want to rotate the bicep so that this piece here can come backwards. With these arms up at this peculiar angle, we want to bring these wheels under, and there's a small tab just in there which is going to tab into the side of this truck mode. You then want to rotate this back. This arm needs to kind of rotate inwards. As we rotate that inwards, this needs to rotate up. So when we bring it back, it's going to fit into that groove there. There's a hole on the top here where these will tab in. And we're then left with this piece here. You want to rotate that around, and it's going to drop backwards over that joint. And at the same time, we're just going to lift up those exhausts and bring that over like so. Just make sure everything is tabbed in where it's meant to be. Bring this piece here up. It's got two tabs here. That's going to come up, and we're going to slide that in between those back panels, and that's going to tab in on either side. Nice and snug as a bug in a rug. And there's a hole here, rocking on this hinge, rocking backwards, and then these jets are just going to tab and tab in like so. And then we can just bring around these front bumpers or fenders, depending on your location. They can come round and around and open like so. They tap into one another first. Nice and tight, very tight fit. And then into the underside of that truck mode. Make sure everything is tabbed in fully. And last but not least, we just need to lift these wheels on the rocking joint. There's a hinge here that's just going to rock up, come down and slide into that hinge and just collapse down. There we go, that's in now. It took a little bit of wriggling and brute force and ignorance, but it's all tabbed in and locked in nicely, and now it all rolls. Now, just to give you an idea of how he scales, here he is alongside some other figures, just to give you an idea. He's a fairly substantial figure, I'd say somewhere between leader class and Voyager class. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have many ideal spaces for saving and storing his weaponry. Something I've kind of learned to do is you just slide the gun over the back panel here. I'm not entirely sure if it's meant to do that or not, but I like how it looks. It's very nice. I still stand by the fact that this is nicer than their Prime. Their Prime is good, but I just love how the detail just seems to pop really cleanly on Nemesis. We've got this nice kind of charcoal grill on the front there, and yes, bravo Planet X. It is just a repaint, but it is a ruddy, nice repaint at that. You can swivel this piece around like so, and you can place it on top so it does form kind of a cannon, so it does have that tank vibe to it like so. I mean, that's not too bad. I kind of like that. And now that we have it stored like that, you can kind of bring in your weapons and they can just tab in on the sides so we can charge. And then we have the Cobalt axe and kind of have that. I don't know how we'd have that on there. Yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, that can just stay there like that. That's fine. Anyway, there we go. This is the Planet X take on Nemesis Prime in the full of Cybertron style. I like it. It's a nice fun figure. It is a very robust figure. It's going to take a good pounding, and I like how it looks in both its bot and vehicle modes. I do hope they make kind of a armor upgrade so we can get kind of a Nemesis Magnus. I would like that quite a lot. Planet X, if you are listening, please take note. And until next time, from myself and Charon, thanks for watching. Goodbye.